Why walking for water? Probably about 5 years ago now, I remember having a dream. Not Martin Luther King style, I had a dream. I mean, you know, I went to bed one night, and possibly after too much cheese, and had a dream that was very vivid. I remember it. I remember in the dream coming down the stairs and opening the back door into the garden and discovering that the garden was full of big white chest freezers. The garden was covered with them, and in every one of these freezers were bottles of water, you know, like Evian or Volvic, or you know, bottled mineral water, absolutely brimming with bottles of water. And I thought, oh, this is a bit strange. A, they weren't there last night when I went to bed, and B, I haven't ordered a large delivery of white goods full of H2O. And so I was quite bemused when suddenly there was a knock at the other door, the front door, and someone was there inquiring as to whether I had any water they could have, because there was a shortage and they hadn't got any. And in no time at all there was a bit of a queue of people at the door asking whether I had any water, and I was kind of saying, well, it's funny you should ask me that, because I didn't, and I'm sorry to hear there's a dearth of water, but I've had a delivery out the back, and so the water was handed out from the freezers to these people that were without water. Now that was just a dream, and it didn't really mean anything other than it was very vivid, and it stayed with me for a few years. When I finished doing the long walk in 2006, after Mama died and the other bereavements of grandparents, I kind of realised that I wanted to do a long walk, and I remembered this dream, and suddenly there was a connection between the two, between walking and the whole water issue. When I discovered that 1 in 6 people in the world today can't get access to clean water, and of those 1.1 billion people, a significant percentage of them have to walk anything up to and beyond 20 kilometres every day to get some water, even though it may not be clean water, it could still be contaminated, give them some nasty disease. I kind of put the two together and realised there was something here. Walking for water so they won't have to. Now essentially the cause that I'm championing is that of Pump Aid. Pump Aid, who've been working tirelessly for a number of years building pumps and sorting out the sanitation issue, mostly in sub-Saharan Africa, in Zimbabwe and also in Malawi. They're looking at moving into other countries in the coming years. Now they're the guys that are doing the work. I'm championing what they're doing. They have the know-how. They know how to use the resources and how to get the job done. I'm doing a walk to champion their work. Walking for water so they won't have to. I suppose in some ways it empathises with the women and the children, because they're normally the ones that have to go and collect the water. They have to walk with maybe a huge bucket on their heads, which, if you consider, in my rucksack here, I carry perhaps 3 litres of water at a time when I think I'm going to need 3 litres between places, and that's 3 kilos. My whole rucksack is about 20, well, it's heavier than it should be, but it's probably nearly 24 kilos. And with water, that's another 3 kilos. So they collect 20 litres of water in a huge bucket. That's 20 kilos. That's almost the same weight as this rucksack. And I can tell you, it's heavy, it's uncomfortable. These are women and children. Children whose backs are not fully developed. So you can imagine the spinal trouble that they develop later in life, the issues that they have when it comes to childbearing. It's the women and the children that get hammered with this walking for water. So the pumps in a location near to where they live, quite often near a school, means that they don't have to go out Walking for the Water, and not only that, the water that they do get access to is clean. It's clean, and you know, it puts a smile on their faces, and you can understand why when they're seeing friends and family dying from unsafe water. So, Walking for Water, so they won't have to. This is an essential cause. I'm not doing this crazy walk with this heavy rucksack just for a laugh, although I'm having some fun and it's a bit of an adventure, of course. It's for something really, really important. So if you've clicked on this somehow and you're watching, you want to know more about Walking for Water, then the website is walking4water.eu. That's walking with a 4, all one word, number 4. You can check us out on Twitter, Walking for Water, Facebook, and also on YouTube, which is perhaps where you're seeing this video. But I think we're going that way, so I'm just checking that I'm walking the right direction whilst I'm doing this. But yeah, this is a really important cause. I want to raise at least £100,000 to help Pump Aid crack on with their goals of supplying at least another 8 million people with clean water by the year 2015. That's 8 million people that suddenly have a hope and a future who perhaps wouldn't have had before. So, so come on, click on the donate button and support the work that Pump Aid are doing. You can do it through the Walking for Water website, you can do it through the Pump Aid website. If you do it through the Walking for Water website, then I'll kind of know, you know, whether this project's having its desired effect. But anyway, I'm going to check the signs and make sure that I'm going the right direction. But that's why Walking for Water is what it is.